Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally made it. After 33 races stretched across 9 months, the 2018 Challenge Series has brought us here, to Talladega, Alabama, for the final chapter of this season. But before we do crown a champion on Sunday, we've got to survive one of the most grueling qualifying gauntlets in motorsports, the road into the North American Auto Club's crown jewel, the 26th TriHard 500. So before we hit the track, let's break down exactly how this week is going to unfold. The field of 115 cars, we were supposed to have a perfectly even 116, but one entry withdrew, is going to be split into 3 groups of 29 cars and 1 group of 28 cars. Each group gets half an hour on track, so 2 whole hours of time trials. The top 10 overall is locked into the race, and they earn their qualifying bonuses by the rows they get. The front row gets 20 points, row 2, so second and third, get 16 points, and so on and so forth until 9th and 10th get 5 bonus points each. From that point onwards, everyone is seeded into their respective races. Top 32 in the Marlisle Duels, bottom 43 all the way back in the D mains, the people in between in the C mains. The top 12 cars on the D mains advance to the C main, and the top 20 from the C main advance to the Duels. Here's the wrinkle. The Marlisle Duels are full points paying events. That means that qualifying bonuses are awarded for the positions that correspond to 1st through 5th. That's why each row gets the same amount of bonuses. Plus, here's the thing. The TriHard 500 does not offer qualifying bonuses. And only the front row for the 500 will start the front at that position when the green flag drops. Here's the thing. The front row's locked. 3rd through 10th are only guaranteed to start the race. They are not guaranteed to start in the positions they timed in. You could qualify 5th and end up starting 40th. So, let's talk about the duels. The top 15 in each duel, the drivers that are not previously locked in, plus any mathematical championship contenders that fail to qualify, because that is also a possibility, earn their way into the TriHard 500's field. However, once tech inspection clears the drivers in the duels, which should be around 7 p.m. of Thursday, a second, more political race begins. Because until 5 p.m. of Friday, teams and drivers can be swapped across the entire field. From pole to 40th, anyone that qualified could be swapped in or swapped out. That means a driver that did not make it through can still get into the race. But when that happens, they start at the back of the pack. This also has implications for the consolation race on Saturday, where teams and drivers that narrowly miss qualifying can compete, and cars that are swapped out are offered the option to race for financial marbles in the consolation race. So, how did qualifying go? All 4 sessions, of course, thankfully uneventful. A couple of cars broke down, but nothing serious, and when the dust settled, the front row was locked by a single team. Torsen Racing sweeps the front row. Mosport winner Warren Majeski takes the pole position, his 2nd pole position of the year, and 2016 TriHard 500 winner Joey Torsen starts on the outside of the front row, and they pocket the 20 bonus points that come with it, alongside the pole position in their respective duels. Now, as we take a look at the rest of the top 10, because this is where it gets interesting, satellite teams and one-off entries are all over it, because you see Daxton Ashcroft and Michael Humphreys on row number 2 for Ashcroft Family Racing and Ernest Lewis Racing, Emily Pova and James Beverly for HQS and Charlie Faulkner Racing in row 3, David Tyner, the biggest surprise in qualifying, in 8th place in an entry that he fielded only because that team had an extra card to spare in what is gonna be their final start as a Challenge Series team. And he puts the 201 inside the top 10. Ashley Tucker in the 57 is gonna get the 9th position in the time trials, with Ruby Carson rounding that top 10 barely. 0.4 of a second put her inside the top 10 and guaranteed into the 500. What makes this fascinating above all else is that all title contending teams except for Nelson Racing, which fields the 98 of Lucy Barton, have at least one extra car guaranteed into the field. Meaning they may not even need to use the extra starting positions provided, because they could just swap themselves in with their teammates. So that's something to keep your eyes on for the next few races. With that as context though, let's look how the championship contenders, our Magnificent 7, fared in time trials. Becky Pellerin takes the top spot among the contenders but misses out on a 5-point bonus that would put her in the provisional championship lead by just 0.4 of a second. That's close enough to sting. She was 2 points down, could have been 3 points up. And Ryan Faulkner qualified 20th overall, starts 10th in the second duel, so he's just behind her. He's lurking right behind her and a little further back in the same race as his father, Charlie Faulkner. In duel number 1, Luke Pellerin will join his sister, qualifying 29th, and Corbin Dempsey is the last of the contenders to make it into the duels by being the last driver in the field to make into the duels on time. He qualified 32nd place, only the top 32 made into the duels, so he did exactly what he had to do, not a single tenth to spare. However, Lucy Barton and Thomas Tucker were not that fortunate. They're gonna have to start on C-Main number 1, and they're gonna start one ahead of the other, and that means they're gonna have to get a little bit of extra work ahead of them just to keep their title hopes alive. Let's take a look at the D-Mains. A lot of this field is composed of one-off entrants, but among them, you're gonna spot Jason Prescott right there, making his return to the series after being swapped out of Zach Tech's flagship number 03. And you see right there in the pack on D-Main number 1, Boyd Abbott, Dan Wright, and Allison Smith all had very poor qualifying efforts. You'll also recognize a couple of names from the PCC Racing ladder, like Jared Vershegen, Fred Jones Jr., and Caitlin Tanner Hill. That's our field for D-Main number 1. Leading the field to the green, you see there Jason Prescott. On his outside is Brittany Henderson. Green flag is in the air, and the first of 6 qualifying races for the TriHard 500 is on. You see there Maya Hardick already traveling towards the middle of the track, chasing the 05. Boyd Abbott having to hustle very early to qualify for the 500 in the Ashcroft Family Racing car. He already gets up to 3rd at the middle of the first of 24 laps in this first qualifying race. Sarah Carlisle running right there very well in 4th. Evie Eckert, the 42 of Dexter Fairburn, the 01 of Brittany Henderson running up there. Marshall North in the 55N, one of the extra cars for the Luke Star Ernest Ruse Racing effort here in Dega. Abbott already making a move on the inside of turn number 3 at the at lap number 2. And chased down by Caitlin Tannerhill, pushing him forward. Engine up in smoke for the number 32 of Michelle Overton, one of the 2 extra cars Overton Motorsports brings to the track, the 32 and the 64. The 32 is the first car confirmed to not qualify for this race. Abbott in the lead of the race, the field settling down into a single file train. And this adventure line built up by the 99, the 25C, the 01, the 42 running there in 4th place. And further back in the pack, you see there the battle for one of the final transfer spots, battle for 12th place with Fred Jones Jr. in the 193. leading the pack with Steve Garrett Jr. right behind him. And then you see there Lucia Harper and Allison Smith having a very poor run so far early in the goings on. As we hit a third of the way through, Ray Kurtz in the number 11 Chu Cool car is actually going to be the first car lapped under green in this qualifying process. After the leaders manage through them, you see how they remain in a single file line with the 99, the 65, the 88 D of David LeBlanc, Sarah Carlisle, Jason Prescott right there closing the top 5. I believe Maya Hardick and Marshall North close the top 7. Then you have 8th place Dexter Fairburn running alone, lost a lot of time together with him. You see, and then further back you see Fred Jones Jr. and Jared Vershegen catching up to the number 11 to lap him, and that's gonna mean that this lead pack is gonna actually be quite a ways away, pretty much locked in and safe as they evolve through the field. By the time we get the 10 laps to go, you see there Boyd Abbott, the 88 of David LeBlanc, and the 55 Marshall North, and the 05 of Jason Prescott. You look there as we reach only 8 laps to go, 2/3 of the way through. Steve Garrett Jr. being lapped by the leaders. He lost the pack and he fell by the wayside. He's the second driver to be lapped. You see there the front pack reforming into a little bit of a double file run, but there's only 7 cars in this front group, so it's not like these positions will matter much aside from where they start in the next qualifying race. As you see there with 2 laps to go. There's contact there. Lloyd McIntyre to the back of Dan Wright, involving the 44 of David Cross in the 200. Sorry, not David Cross. Derek Trent is the car involved, and that is gonna help Evie Eckert hold the 11th position. Fred Jones gonna catch the 193, and Fred Jones Jr. is gonna be the last car in the top 12. Jared Vershegen eliminated in D-Main number 2. At the front of the field, you see there the 99, the 88D, and the 55N are the top 3 qualifying through. Despite that dust up at the finish, the outcome at the front was not altered. Boyd Abbott, David LeBlanc, and Marshall North, the 3 strongest cars in the pack, worked together, pulled to the front, and will continue their march forward into the C-Mains. On D-Main number 2, we get a few impressive names in this one as well. Dirk Williamson on pole alongside Jenny Irving. Brad Carlisle, who cracked the top 10 at the season opener in Fontana. Jennifer Frost just announced for a full-time ride next year with this very same team, Mattis Racing. Rachel Jackson, Kevin Daly, Sean Smith, and Kira Downer rounding out the notables in this field. When the green flag waves, the 00 of Dirk Williamson already leads the way. Andrew Atwood in the 67, a car he's gonna drive. He's actually already driving a second Simple Sports car when Red Star Racing finally takes control over Simple Sports in their acquisition. Andrew Atwood's gonna be one of their full-time drivers, announced just fairly recently. As you see, Darwin Alvin on the 49, followed by Jason Master in the 50, and the 35 of Craig Butler having very solid jumps up ahead in the start of this race. David Lamar actually running fairly well, much better than we anticipated for this qualifying race. He's battling there with Steve Holliday Jr. for the 12th position. You see there Jenny Irving also in this front pack. As you see there, by the time we get to lap number 4, the 27 Jr. and the 12 end up dropping behind Atwood now. Drew Atwood makes the move for the lead with the help of Sean Smith in the 39. Rachel Jackson appearing up there in the fight as well. Craig Butler appearing in the lead group too. And this front pack has 13 cars, meaning one of them, unless that person, that odd one out, loses the pack, one of them is actually gonna have to hustle to make it through the race. As you watch Sean Smith leading away, but Rachel Jackson already on the inside making a move for the lead. And Rachel Jackson in what is, as we expect to be the final start for Speed the final attempt for Speed Enterprises as a Challenge Series team. They're going to scale back to being a development crew in the All-Star Series. So they're trying to make their way into the TriHard 500, if not the Constellation Race, to at least get a good weekend out of it. And they're doing very solidly so far. Jason Masters, a very good run in this early goings on. The time trials weren't kind to him, but if he's working his way forward, the chance of him making through the alphabet soup is tangible. The other Carlisle sibling, Sarah, was on D main number 1. Brad is on C main number 2, running very solid up there. As you see the field catch, Brian Wall dropped a lap, and when we get the lap number 9, a third of the way through, just like the first C main, he holds the pack up quite a little bit. Jennifer Frost makes the move on the inside, and there goes Frost for the lead. The 39 of Sean Smith, the 73 of Jared Green, the 19 of Jenny Irving, 50 of Jason Masters, 14 of Adam Patterson, all get through on the inside line. They're going to gain positions, but there goes Wall Drop, holding 3 lines at once. And I don't think anyone's going to take too kindly to that. So the 273, the 73, and the 39 rush ahead. And now Jason Masters and Adam Patterson have to work together to catch the 39, to catch the 73 with the tail end of that front group. Craig Butler leading that second pack with around 6 cars. There I see Rachel Jackson. There I see the number 3 of Kira Downer there as well. And by the time they lap the number 10 of Ellie Schneider, when we get to the halfway point of this race, the pack reforms. We get a pack again. And Jennifer Frost continues to lead. Jason Masters jumps to 3rd place. As you see there, the number 3 Kira Downer being catching up the front of the pack. Charlotte Elliott right now battling with one of the JX Racing School cars for the 12th position. I believe that is Darwin Alvin, because all the 3 cars are identical aside from a couple of coloring differences. So it's going to be a little bit hard to identify them, as we have trouble with Brian Waldrop up in smoke from the last position. We will not get a caution. He will drive back to the pits, but you know, when things like these happen, it's still not good. Oh, trouble there! As you see, the 39, big hit by the 19 of Jenny Irving. A hard lick on the driver's side. The 19 static, big crash as Sean Smith got into the back of the 273. The 273 spun around. We got a red flag. The ambulance is right there just to make sure they are all right. Both climbed out of their cars, but clearly shaken off. Jennifer Frost was running in 4th. Jenny Irving picked the inside line. Nothing she could do there with only a third of the qualifying race left. A hard hit and a very, very scary incident in the second C main. She slowed down, but just not enough, because the 273 kept spinning down, and the 19 ends up hitting the 273. Hard hit. And as you see there, how when we finally, after the red flag, get it back going, what we had in this incident was Frost clutching her shoulder, likely very much due to the impact. It's an unfortunate hit that we had right there. Jenny Irving was limping out of the car. Just a scary incident overall. As you see the field, Johnny Harrison gets the lifeline. He wraps around the field, and we are going to have the restart of this race with only 3 laps to go. This crash on lap 18, and we're gonna have only 3 more laps for this race to decide the 12 qualifiers for the second C main of the weekend. Dirk Williamson's gonna lead the pack to the green flags in the air. Brett Carlisle is on his outside. The field's likely gonna scramble. As you see there, both Speed Enterprises cars right there on the inside. Let's see what they can do. Craig Butler and Adam Patterson having very good runs. Jason Masters and the outside line falling a little bit to the wayside. They need to go to the inside to make sure they're gonna have the solid drafting partners there. As Rachel Jackson running right behind Dirk Williamson, trying to make her own move. But by the time we get to the 2 laps to go signal, Kira Downer steals the first position by making a move on the tri-oval, followed by Craig Butler. This is the race for the win in the D-Main, and that decides who's gonna start further ahead on the C-Mains. So yeah, this is as much of a battle for qualifying position as it is for a win, as it is to qualify further into the road to the TriHard 500, as Downer continues to lead. The 83 of Kevin Daly right there trying to set up a move. Rachel Jackson's gonna get a push on the inside by Jason Masters, trying to make something happen there on the back straightaway. Kira Downer seems to be home free. She just needs to drive down back to the inside to not lose to not lose the speed on the inside, and she's gonna do it. The 37 is gonna be right behind her, pushing her through, and Speed Enterprise is gonna figure out to make a 1-2 on a C main. And as they come right into the tri-oval, it's the 3, the 37, 39, 50, 35. It's 0-0 on the top 5. Kira Downer wins C main number 2. Kira Downer and Rachel Jackson pull an impressive 1-2 for Speed Enterprises in one of their final starts as a Challenge Series team. Jason Master takes a solid 3rd place. Adam Patterson is a big surprise, making it through, though the field was whittling down, partly due to that massive crash involving both Jennifers, Frost and Irving. On the front row of C main number 1, we got Mexican driver Rafaela Molina alongside Ashley Richardson, who starts this weekend with a special paint scheme honoring her 3 years with Prism Rivers Guitars, her main sponsor across the 2 part-time seasons, after her massive injury in her first full-time campaign this year in 2018. Row 2 features 2 Canadians that are gonna go full-time next season, Lily Briscoe and Brenda Messner. Behind them, Lucy Barton and Thomas Tucker, fighting to stay mathematically alive for this championship. Further back, 2014 TriHard 500 winner Riley McKee starting 17th, with Colin Kaiser as the last timed qualifier. So we are bound to have a very interesting race. Leading the field to the green on the first C main is Rafaela Molina. The Mexican has a very solid start, dead heat with the 58 of Ashley Richardson. Richardson taking the foot off just a little bit, probably trying to align on the inside, but she's going to be prevented from doing that by Lily Briscoe. And by the end of the first lap, Lily Briscoe and Lucy Martin already find themselves in 2nd and 3rd. Thomas Tucker is going to take 4th, and then Ashley Richardson is going to be able to get to the 5th position in the line as Molina leads the way. Briscoe running 2nd, the field quickly already settling into a single file formation. As you see there in the back, the last car qualifying right now on the bubble is Boyd Abbott, followed by the 55N and the 30 of Colin Kaiser, the 43 of Lee Schmidt right ahead of him, and a few drivers that are slowly advancing as we go. For example, Jason Prescott running right there in 24th place, trying to gain positions as we are 3 laps into the running, as he tries to catch the 88 of David LeBlanc, the 55N on Marshall North. And you look there how Thomas Tucker running in the 4th position together with Lucy Barton. What they need to do is to finish as far up as possible, to start as far up as possible. But Lucy Barton with problems early, right rear puncture on the number 98, and she already has to pit. The field settles into that single file, but with the troubles not over, because in the back of the pack, Joyce Clements and Evie Eckert missed the 69X of My Hardick, and Fred Jones just strikes the rear of the 69X, and she has to go to the pits, and that is gonna have undue consequences, because when she merges back on track, she makes a little bit of contact with the 22 Riley McKee, bounces back into Joyce Clements and David LeBlanc, and that is the first caution off the C main number 1. 7 laps into the race, this bails out Lucy Barton, who was about to be lapped. She's gonna stay in the lead lap due to this first yellow flag period. Then you see there the 93 of Joyce Clements with a left front suspension breaking down due to that contact with the 93. And then a left front puncture to the 94 of Rafaela Molina from the lead while under caution 2 laps before the restart. The tire in the 94 suffers a puncture. And to make matters worse, when she comes into the pits to change that tire, something breaks down on the transmission of that car. It starts billowing smoke, and Rafaela Molina is out from the lead of the race. When we get the restart, Lily Briscoe gets the lead handed down to her, essentially, and she drives down deep, but Thomas Tucker has a much better start, and Tucker already takes the first position. And Briscoe being forced to chase down the number 9 in the back of the field. The 193 pulls the car of the pits by not hitting the minimum speed. The field settling into a single file train once again. 9:36:58, and Thomas Tucker up in smoke. Thomas Tucker up in smoke from the lead of the race. 17 laps in. This is disastrous for his championship hopes. He's gonna be able to get put into the B mains. However, he's gonna have to start all the way from the back. Evie Eckert flies all the way up to the lead. She has to drop down into the apron because she dove so deep. She almost lost control of that car. She's gonna be in the front of the pack in a daring move while everyone slowed down. Let's watch what she did right there. She's gonna see the field slow down. There's contact there. You see the 99, the 54 get together. And she just jumps up ahead. You see how that happened. The 54 came flying in, tagged the 99 by the rear. And that is the second caution of the race as a consequence of the 9 blowing up. And you see how Evie Eckert just used that to take a bunch of positions, and she's gonna restart in 3rd place while Lily Briscoe and Ashley Richardson share the front row. Richardson just gets promoted from 3rd to 2nd place. McHenley running up there in the 4th position, having a solid run so far. Sarah Carlisle and Eric Dyson also up there as well. Brittany Henderson and Jason Prescott also benefiting from that scramble inside the top 10 as we reach about 15 laps to go. Lynn Hodges, after that contact with Boyd Abbott's not gonna be able to reach minimum speed, and she's gonna end up getting disqualified for failing to reach that threshold. And as you look there, the 99 of Boyd Abbott, he is reaching minimum speed, but he lost the pack on the restart, and he's stuck there trying to survive, while Eckert running up front, but she already falls down to the 5th position. Hanging about, holds back the 42 of Dexter Fairburn, the Furniture Row car. Thomas Culler running solidly in the 02, having a good run. As we are approaching 10 laps to go, the top 3 is Briscoe, Carlisle, and Henderson. Fairburn making a move under Richardson, trying to get the 4th spot. Is it going to be enough? Looks like it will. He has the push, while Richardson's on the sucker hole. And there goes Fairburn to the 3rd spot, but Culler makes his own move. And you see there how Boyd Abbott ends up going into the pits. Again, more problems to the 99. He's just trying to survive. And he gets a right front puncture from what we hear. And when he gets lapped, you see how the field's gonna catch him and pass him. Lily Briscoe in the lead, Ronnie Samples in 2nd. Eve Austin having a very good run in 3rd place, the country music singer that has been doing a couple of starts in the summer races for S2 Motorsports, having a very solid run. 9 laps remain here in Talladega. The pack is now reformed, and Boyd Abbott now back up to speed. He's actually going to get a little bit of time, and he's going to be able to work his way forward. As you see the field scrambling for position right there, there's contact. Bobby Savage, Jason Prescott, Thomas Culler, Eric Dyson get together. And that is the 3rd caution of the season. Culler spins around, Prescott spins around as well. Let's watch what happened from the perspective of Evie Eckert, who dropped all the way back to 21st. We get that contact, they spin around, and Eckert misses another one. This one was way smaller than it warranted to be, and we thankfully don't get a big one out of that. But this is gonna force another 3-lap shootout. We already had a 3-lap shootout on D-Main number 2 earlier in this Tuesday. And Boyd Abbott's gonna get the lifeline, and he's back in the hunt. He could still get inside the top 20 and make it into the B-Mains. And Lily Briscoe once again leads the field. It is a dead heat between her and Ronnie Samples. They're trying to survive, but I think the field's gonna get even crazier now. And we watch Lucy Barton gain position slowly, clip by clip. Contact there. Samples and Briscoe get together for just a little bit. And Lucy Barton is up to 4th place after being bailed out by that 1st caution, so she made good use of the luck she was given. While Sarah Carlisle running up there, I see the 44 running up there as well, another one-off. Hibiki Murata having a very solid run inside the top 10. The field scrambling about. Ronnie Samples has just a nose ahead, but as they come out of turn number 3 and turn number 4, Lily Briscoe's gonna get the better push, and she's gonna be able to get her nose up ahead against the number 7. David Cross setting up a 3 wide against the 25C and the 98, and he's gonna make it happen. David Cross to the inside. Samples and Briscoe battling for position. This is a tight fight for the win of this race. Cross is gonna try to make a 3 wide happen. Is it gonna work? Doesn't look like it will. Sample's gonna hold the lead. Briscoe's gonna be clear of the 44, but as they come down to turn number 3, does Cross have enough? Doesn't look like he does. Lucy Barnes, there's contact there. Big crash with Big Murata up in the wall. Eve Austin around. Dexter Fairburn around. Thomas Culler and Murata flipping and tumbling. Henderson flipping and tumbling. Several rolls for the 52 of Hibiki Murata. Massive crash. As we look there, this is gonna end the race under yellow. And the contact began. Nothing Hibiki Murata could have done. And there goes the camera on the 52. We're gonna need a secondary angle to see what happened to her as to why she got in the wall. Let's see what happened as they come down. Someone went up. I think that was Brenda Massner in the 274. Sent the 38 into the outside. Thomas Cutter had nowhere to go. Eric Dyson had nowhere to go. The 01 got tagged and started wildly flipping. Indeed, it was the 274. Henderson went around when she transferred to the banking. Then someone hit her. I think it was the 02 and sent her upside down. She gets propped up against the 42. A massive crash. And this is gonna force the race to end under yellow. And you see how finding herself in the lead during that scramble was Lucy Barton. She was on the outside pulling through. And that put her past Ronnie Samples, and she is going to take the first of 2 C-mains after almost getting lapped earlier. Lucy Barton wins C-main number 1. Ronnie Samples takes another second place finish in his 20-year racing career. Lily Briscoe holds on in 3rd place. Among the survivors advancing to the B-main, we got David Cross, Brenda Massner, Saul Pritchett, Caitlin Tannerhill, Jason Prescott, all solidly inside the top 10, with Evie Eckert, Boyd Abbott, Mai Hardick, Dexter Fairburn, Colin Kaiser, and Sarah Carlisle also advancing. But with the elevated attrition, this will place Mac Henley and Thomas Tucker in the back of the field for duel number 1 under the provisional rules. Mac Henley as a former series champion, Thomas Tucker as a current championship contender. 1996 TriHard 500 winner Steve Greenblatt takes the pole position on C-main number 2. And then we got 4 road course ringers inside the top 10. You see there, Ami Tachibana for Kane Hughes Racing, Stan Gustafson for Nelson Racing, Lexi Percy for HQS Racing, next year becoming Connor Swift Racing, Tegan Robertson there for CJK Racing. John Jefferson and Andy Piper, true drivers with PCC team backing, both find themselves having to qualify the hard way into the 500. Further back, you see there Chris Endicott, Luke Calhoun, Kristen Young, and Matt Mazzatelli. A big surprise there for the Baruchel team. An extra car for those guys appearing there in the C-mains, qualifying on time. Greenblatt has control of the field, and C-main number 2 is on. Here in Talladega, Ami Tachibana trying to save the week for Kane Hughes Racing. Starts on the outside. A very good qualifying effort from her and from multiple road ringers. You see there, Lexi Percy up there. You see there, the 53, the 95 winner at Trois Riviere up there as well. You see, I think that's Skipper Stevenson already making a move on the inside. The 420 getting a push from the B431. The 31 is the first time Johnson Racing, it's gonna be the, well, let's say, the guest car for Johnson Racing next season. And the first guest is already John Jefferson, and he's already doing a very solid start on his C-main. Could have done a better job in qualifying. I'm not gonna pretend it's not the case, but they're starting to get eased up into the mechanics of the North American Auto Club. They're starting to get it together. So John Jefferson already making his move for the lead at the start of the second lap. And what a great move. John Jefferson is your new leader, pushed by the 212 of Lexi Percy and the 78 of Alexis Wyman. And by the time we get to lap number 4, you see how the 31 leads away. Wyman now on the outside of the sucker hole. Vernon Hargrove working his way forward. Finds himself in third. Brett Finley, who is going to be one of the teammates to the 31 next season, is finding himself on the inside. He moves to the outside when Jefferson moves to the outside, so he already got the calling and he knows what he got to do to his teammate, while Alexi Percy gets into the lead. Vernon Hargrove giving chase. Chris Endicott right there in the 40 of Tegan Robertson. Another road ringer having a very good start. Adam Patterson lost the field very early, and he's in the back of the pack. He's reaching minimum speed, but he is going to be lapped sooner than later. Ollie Nolan having also a very good run right there, being pushed by Dirk Williamson, fighting with Craig Butler. Robert Burton running right there as well. Very good runs for all those three. Kira Downer up here in the fight. As you see, when we reach lap number 10, the field has started to settle, and they catch the 14. There goes the 2-1-2 on the inside. Vernon Hargrove picks the outside, and that was a bad pick. I think he thought he could have threaded the needle and put the 14 deeper outside, even further high. Was unable to. He's going to lose a lot of track positioning for that. He's going to have to work his way forward through the pack again. Chris Endicott makes his move for the lead. Chris Endicott had a very difficult first half of the season, was failing to qualify left and right. When he didn't qualify, he crashed. When he crashed, he didn't qualify. But he has worked his way together. He has worked forward, and he is now with a possibility of gaining a provisional for the 63 next year, which would save the season of this team after so many failings to qualify. Robert Burton! Problems to the number 23, and Robert Burton is done for the afternoon. However, due to him being a former series champion, he is going to get a past champions provisional into the second B main, so no worries there, and no worries there for the 63 of Overton Motorsports. Chris Endicott in the lead, chased down by the 95 of Stan Gustafsson. Gustafsson was injured in the PCC Cup Series race here last year. A very terrible T-boning he got. That sidelined for him for the whole rest of 2017 when he was running in the Trans Am season full-time, which he still does alongside this part-time campaign in the North American Auto Club. You see the second pack there with Jason Masters. You see the third group there. Steve Greenblatt just no more speed at all. Andy Piper running 22nd. Not a good run at all as well. Trying to survive, trying to work his way back, but losing the pack. You see there Endicott leads. You see how the second group is Greenblatt, Kevin Daly, and Andy Piper. They have essentially lost the field. You see the 14 right there as well. By the time we get to lap number 19, there goes Stan Gustafsson for the lead with a push from Lexi Percy. And I think, is that the 00 or the 60 or the 68? I think that's the 68. And problems! That is not good. Ethan Collins, I mentioned the provisional battle, and the implication is even worse now because Ethan Collins was in the bubble in the battle for the provisional. The brake rotor in the 16 explodes. The car is in flames, and he's gonna stop on the backstretch, bringing the first caution of this race, putting the 14, the only car to be lapped under green, into the lead lap once again. And with that caution, Stan Gustafsson leads the field to the green with Creeper Stevenson on his outside. Caitlin Ashcroft having a very impressive run so far, staying there around the top 10. Solid run. You see the restart, how it goes. Someone blew up in the back. Darwin Alvin up in smoke, and there goes his race. He's gonna make it back to the pits, but that's the worst way possible to fail to qualify. You blow up after you get yourself together. As Caitlin Ashcroft already makes the move on the inside. 10 laps remain here in Talladega, and the 66 is on the lead. If you noticed, I don't think you did, the 16 is still on track because the brake rotor caught on fire. But I don't know what kind of magic they did in the 16, but they put him back on track anyway. How did they do it? I don't know. I don't care. They're banking on a big one. But the way the field is slowly starting to spread, you see there, Ami Tachibana having a very good run. Dirk Williamson working his way forward from the D-mains. And the 28 of Vern Hargrove, the 31 of John Jefferson working their way forward. Another drivers making their way forward are Brett Finley in the 15, Andy Piper in the 13, and the 92 of Steve Greenblatt. While dropping to the back, you see there the two Barusho cars of Matt Mazzatelli and Rick Lewis. They did good runs enough to get into the C-mains, but I think this is where they'll stop. Likewise, Sean Smith in the back of the pack, and also even further back is the 14 of Adam Patterson, and he's just gonna pull off the field, and he's not even gonna try to finish the race, which is a shame, but it happens. With only 5 laps to go, even a big one wouldn't save him at this point. Vernon Hargrove is now on the back end of the 66, 3 laps to go here in Talladega. He is chasing down the 66. The defending TriHard 500 champion trying to put another feather in his cap. This season was difficult for S2 Motorsports 2018 for a multitude of reasons. And as you see the field settle, how it is split into multiple adventure lines carrying through. And there goes Hargrove on the inside with a push from John Jefferson. Ami Tachibana joins the fray. There goes Charlotte Elliott on the inside. Brad Carlisle also in that fight. And now we got a little bit of a pack there. There's 6 cars on the inside, 2 cars on the outside, 9-car pack battling for the win. Steve Greenblatt up there, John Jefferson up there, Ami Tachibana up there, Charlotte Elliott, a big surprise. Brad Carlisle finished top 10 in Fontana this season. The second pack there has Lexi Percy, Alexis Wyman leading them through. The 16 of Ethan Collins is up there somehow, but he is 1 lap down. He is not in the fight. I believe at least he's not on the fight. Timing and scoring has been a little bit fuzzy in this qualifying race, but he's not on the lead lap as far as I recall. Field pressure problems for Craig Butler in the 35, and the voices in my head, better known as the audio from the people on the switcher, have told me that Ethan Collins indeed is 2 laps down, so he is not qualifying despite being part of the second pack. And in the front of the field, they are now a little bit more settled, still fighting for position. You see there Ami Tachibana making a move for second place, trying to make something happen on the inside of the 28, but Vernon Hargrove is gonna block that line, get a little bit of daylight between him and the 53, rounding out turn number 4. He is gonna hang on to his station, and with Brad Carlisle right there in third, Dirk Williamson trying to make a move there for 4th place against Steve Greenblatt. He's gonna get the nose ahead. John Jefferson's gonna try to follow him through, but Vernon Hargrove's gonna win C-Main number 2 in Talladega. And you see there the third pack of the field. Tegan Robertson and Kristen Young are gonna both work together and get into the B-Mains. They make it to the duels 19th and 20th, working together to block the 50 and the 59. Defending TriHard 500 winner Vern Hargrove takes the C-Main number 2 win. Ami Tachibana, a big surprise in second place. Brad Carlisle and Dirk Williamson are working their way through the alphabet soup and are in the duels together with John Jefferson and Steve Greenblatt as well, together with Katie Ashcroft and Charlotte Elliott, Chris Endicott, Kira Downer, Lexi Percy, Kevin Daly, and Alexis Wyman survive inside the top 15. Tegan Robertson and Kristen Young carry CJK Racing through it all, and they are also in the duels. Jason Masters, Luke Calhoun, Jared Grain, and Creeper Stevenson barely missed their way into this race, but they earn berths in the consolation race, provided they don't get ride swaps in their favor, which right now is a far possibility for them in specific. Robert Burton finishes 31st and will be added to the back of the field in the second duel. Only 2 races remain before the TriHard 500, and both are points events that could reshape this entire championship. Welcome to the Marlisle Duels from Talladega, Alabama. Skies are crystal clear, 90 degrees Fahrenheit with 7-mile winds pointed west, which is a pretty significant crosswind right at the exit of turn number 4 into the tri-oval, so it's gonna catch people unaware as soon as we get to the green flags. Each duel is 125 miles, 47 laps. Unlike all other qualifying races this weekend, pit stops are mandatory. However, they probably would be mandatory anyway because fuel calculations say the field will need to pit anyway around laps 38 to 42, while no tire stops are expected. Of course, 26 years of the North American Auto Club at Talladega, I do not need to preach the mass to the choir because the track length is always 2.66 miles, the banking on the turns 33 degrees, tri-oval at 16, the straights at 2 degrees. Those are the banks that you're gonna have to hit in this track for the next 47 laps, and then if you make it to the TriHard 500 for 117 more. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. On pole position for duel number 1 is Sunday's TriHard 500 pole sitter Warren Majeski. Alongside him, Daxton Ashcroft in just his 3rd start of the season, the youngest of the Ashcrofts that are currently racing, which are him and his older sister Catherine. Both are Caitlin Ashcroft's children. PCC Cup Series driver James Beverly in the 3rd Charlie Faulkner racing car, next to Kate Taylor in the 3rd Look Star entry. Of course, neither of them active drivers. For example, James Beverly's last full-time season in PCC, as I recall correctly, was about 2010. Last full-time season Kate Taylor did in the North American Auto Club was around 2012, if I'm not mistaken. Row 3 has Ashley Tucker and Becky Pellerin, the younger sisters, to 2 other very relevant full-time drivers that are also contending for this championship, Thomas Tucker and Luke Pellerin. Megan McDonald, Joey Anderson, Marcy Crawford, and Matt Stern close out the top 10. Peter Justin, Lucia Harper sit 11th and 12th. The final 4 timed qualifiers are Harriet Moore and Ben Makowski for Ashcroft Family Racing, Luke Pellerin for Lookstar Motorsports, and David Payne for S2 Motorsports, followed by the drivers that earned their keep through the C&D main races. At the very back of the pack, you see there Mac Henley and Thomas Tucker. Let's go trackside. Leading the field to the green, Warren Majeski, and the green flag is out. The first B main is on. On the outside, James Beverly tries to gain a couple of positions by moving to the middle. Doesn't work. Daxton Ashcroft already slides right behind the number 1. As you see the field spread away, you see Joey Anderson there. And then you see Ashley Tucker making a move, gaining a couple of positions right there under the line. And by the end of the first lap, Ashley Tucker takes the first position with a push from Megan McDonald. McDonald also being pushed by the number 46. As you see there, Caitlin Tannerhill with a problem in the fuel system of the 65 car. A terrible, terrible way to have a race go, and that's going to split the pack down the middle, and you have Colin Kaiser and Jason Prescott leading the way in the second pack, together with Mac Henley, Thomas Tucker, Sarah Carlisle. A lot of the drivers that worked their way through the alphabet soup are now stuck in the back of the pack, trying to catch the rest of the field. And at the end of the second lap, problems for Matt Stern. He's going to be done for the day, and that's going to split the lead pack. You see the smoke billowing from the number 8, and that is already a bit of problem. That is going to split the pack, and there you see Harriet Moore with a push from Luke Pellerin and Ben Makowski about to take the lead of the race. Harriet Moore is your new leader. Ben Makowski right there, her teammate Luke Pellerin making a move on the inside, trying to take the lead. You see there's now 3 distinct packs in the field, with Kate Taylor, a car that is in between pack 1 and 2. And Pellerin to the inside, almost a 3 wide with Ben Makowski, Joey Anderson, Lucy Barton, and Becky Pellerin. James Beverly right there as well. That's the low line as the 88 takes the first position. And you see there how Tannerhill is about to be lapped very shortly, because she's back on the pack, but unfortunately she's not up to speed, and she's gonna end up slowly getting caught by the field by the end of lap number 4. That's gonna hold the inside line. At least she retained the line she was on, and Harriet Moore is gonna get a break, open a big gap. But the problem with opening a big gap in a super speedway like Talladega when the pack is formed right behind you is that whenever someone else actually passes the lapped car too, as you're gonna see Joey Anderson finally figure it out as Luke Pellerin gets blocked, they're eventually gonna catch you anyway. As you see Becky Pellerin working her way forward, you ride alongside the 27 as she's right behind the 86 of James Beverly. And by the time we get to lap number 7, you see how Daxton Ashcroft cycled into the front of the pack. The 57 Ashley Tucker is right behind him. The field slowly starting to settle. That first pack merged once again as Caitlin Tannerhill was caught. And Caitlin's actually keeping up the pace as well. So the field starting to settle, getting a little bit together. And as you see, Ronnie Samples is running in 24th place, gets caught by Thomas Tucker and Mac Henley. He lost the second pack, as a matter of fact. Eve Austin, Boyd Abbott, Sarah Carlisle, and Dexter Fairburn are in this group. And problems for Ashley Richardson from the back of the field. 9 laps in, the 58 has an engine problem, and that is gonna be the end of the quest for the 58 car. That special paint scheme seemingly so far will not see the 500. Richardson herself also, whoa, trouble there. Jason Prescott makes a little bit of contact with Boyd Abbott, a little bit of contact with my Hardick. And Hardick hangs on right behind the 05. That could have made it so much worse on lap number 10. I was going to say about Ashley Richardson. Last year, she also didn't have a lot of luck in Talladega. Caitlin Tannerhill up in smoke. They're not even letting me tell my story. Caitlin Tannerhill done for the afternoon from 37th place a lap down. A disastrous end for the 65 car. One of the best paint schemes we got from the one-off so far. Joey Anderson now advancing through the pack to get the second place, trying to make his own goal at the lead. And as he makes his move, let's finally talk again about Ashley Richardson. Her luck in Talladega has been disastrous in the last couple of years because last year she didn't even complete the second lap. Her car blew up at the end of the second lap, and she didn't get to cross the finish line. It was the first retirement of last year's 500, as Warren Majeski back again in the lead of the field with a push from Marcy Crawford, and they are advancing through. Becky Pellerin now stuck on the sucker hole in the middle of the line, and that is a problem for her. Evie Eckert also not up to speed on the beaming. Everyone did have a free Wednesday to work on their issues, get their cars repaired, get their cars better setups, and Evie Eckert seems to be one of the people that did not have that luck to her. And now Riley McKee making a move for the lead with Ben Makowski on the outside as they get the 75 up to speed. But the time that it takes to get the 75 up to speed is enough for Ben Makowski to hold the lead. And Ben Makowski up in smoke from the lead on lap 15. Trouble for Ashcroft Family Racing. Another moment where one of their cars has an engine failure. Thomas Tucker already had his fair share of problems in the C-Mains, and now more problems for Ben Makowski. Marcy Crawford's gonna end up in the front of the field in another Ford, with Warren Majeski in second place, Kate Taylor third, and Harriet Moore running in fourth place. Lee Schmidt up there in fifth, Athena Whitley and Joey Anderson there closing the top 6. Closing the top 7. Marcy Crawford, as you watch, driving the pack, leading the second line is Becky Pellerin. She's chasing down right behind, drafting the number 1, trying to find the next hit into the inside. Look, Pellerin in the back. Pellerin making a little bit of contact on the tri-oval. This is dangerous. This is temerary. This could have ended so bad. This could have been so much worse. Brother and sister not giving each other an inch in the worst of implications possible to see, not giving each other an inch. This could have been disastrous for the championship leader and the championship contender. Lucy Barton fighting her way through. She needs to get a lot of points. She needs to win. And there's contact there. Trouble! Problems. Multiple cars involved. Becky Pellerin, Daxton Ashcroft. I think Luke Pellerin is in there as well. Many cars involved. Daxton Ashcroft upside down. I think that's one of the Ernest Lewis cars. Harriet Moore hits one of the Ernest Lewis cars. 2 more Ashcroft Family Racing cars involved. That's Mega McDonald there. Let's see what happened, because Lucy Barton, we were talking about how she needed a win, and everything just went up into smoke. I do not get what happened. Someone made contact there. Riley McKee, the 2014 TriHard 500 champion, involved. Ashley Tucker, both Ernest Lewis cars involved. The 43 is up in smoke as well. A lot of trouble. Big trouble. And a lot of issues very early in this race. Lap 20 of 47. Let's see what happened there. And the 60 moved up just a little bit. The 27 was right there. They made contact and everything went off kilter. And that is a lot of trouble in this first caution. Let's try to see what happened again. I really don't know who made the first touch. I don't know who made the first touch. I'm assuming it's behind Riley McKee because he also gets touched from behind. And that's where things go wrong for him. Let's try to see what happened riding with Peter Johnson and Saul Pritchett. He got into the back of the 6 of Harriet Moore. Center into the 22. The 22 tagged the 27. 27 tagged the 60. And from then on, everything went wild. That is the first caution of the race. The 3 cars escaping are Joey Anderson, Luke Pellerin, and Warren Majeski. And that is going to ensure for everyone that they will get a free pit stop. Essentially, we will not need a pit cycle or a battle in the pits or a strategy call. Everyone's just going to come in right now, get their fuel in, get their tanks full, and they're going to leave. And so you have an idea, the running order will not change at all because Majeski beat the 46 off the pit. So Majeski is still in third despite the fact that you saw them side by side. And with all that trouble, nothing changed. And yeah, look at that. Yeah, look at that. This is the second time this year a car flips and they put him back on track. Dirk Williamson in Dover, Daxton Ashcroft in Talladega. He's back on the circuit. He's the last. He's the last car running, but he's still running. That has to amount to something. Joey Anderson is leading the way as the pace car peels off. Second place, Luke Pellerin. Second row is Warren Majeski, Harriet Moore. Third row is Peter Johnson and Saul Pritchett, who caused this whole debacle. And the green flag is in the air. The battle is on once again. And Pellerin has a very good start. This is a fantastic jump. Before turn 1, he's already on the lead. Luke Pellerin trying to get, I believe, his third win of the season. My mistake, fourth win of the season. 2 of his wins were so impressive that I forgot that he won at Columbia earlier this year. Of course, he beat Ashley Richardson in that beautiful photo finish in the dirt in Bristol. And then he dominated the race in Beltsville, led over 180 laps off 250 and won in Beltsville. As you see, the other 2 contenders aside from him, Thomas Tucker and Becky Pellerin, running right behind him on the front line. Brendan Massner running up there together with Colin Kaiser. They used the caution in their favor. Likewise, Ronnie Samples and Eve Austin, and they are now back in the saddle, back in the hunt. Lucy Barrington, after being involved in that first caution, now she needs a miracle. Now she doesn't just need a miracle. She needs a series of miracles because she completely lost the pack. Further back, David Payne in the number 8P doing his race. He has Marcy Crawford right ahead of him. Warren Majeski dropped all the way back after having quite a bad restart as the field settles into a single file adventure line once again. And you see how Riley McKee also losing a little bit of the pack there. Lily Briscoe is right ahead of him. Lily just doing her thing as well, trying to just make it further, make it to the last few laps before she tries to make a move. While Pellerin, Beverly, and Johnson is your top 3. Beverly makes a move on the inside. Is he going to try to take the lead? Look, Pellerin just moves to the outside. He already led a few laps. Oh, trouble there, problems. Tucker and Pellerin around. Brendan Massner around. 2 of the title contenders is spinning off into the distance on lap 32. This could not have been a worse race for Rebecca Pellerin. This could not have been a worse afternoon for the 27. Your championship second place in trouble, and trouble early. Joey Anderson takes the lead at the line. Let's see what happened there, because I think Kate Taylor got into the 27 and center spinning Brendan Massner. You see there, complete bystander, spins around, gets his things together and drives away. Could have been a dangerous position he would have been in. But let's see what happened there with Kate Taylor. Kate Taylor is chasing down the number 9. Bump drafting, he moves a little bit, and oh my word. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lady Mary. This is not what you want your mentor doing to you. Let's see what happened there. Taylor drifted down into Lucia Harper, got into the 27, got into the 79, 79 tagged the 27 into the 274. Harper had nothing to do with that. This is not what Kate Taylor should have done. This is not what Thomas Tucker wanted. And this is not what Rebecca Pellerin needed when she's on the cusp of retaking the championship lead that she lost by only 2 points. In a championship where every position matters, where every move matters, where you're flirting with disaster at every second, have your teammate wipe you out like that is just about the worst thing that could have happened at this point with one race left after this one. This could have been even worse, but the fact of the matter is, at least it was just a spin. They can still fight this one out. Joey Anderson leads away with Bobby Savage. Savage already drops behind. Look, Pellerin already makes his move, goes for second place. You see there how James Beverly, Bobby Savage, 2 veterans of this type of sport, of stock car racing overall, running very solid there. With Eve Austin, who is not a veteran at all. She's just... Okay, let's be honest. Austin drives in the Nashville short track scene, but that's a hobby. She's a country singer, and she's running in the top 10 at Talladega in a qualifying race for the North American Auto Club's Crown Jewel event. As you look there, 10 laps to go. Thomas Tucker making his way forward. Becky Pellerin making their way forward. They want to qualify without relying on the provisional. They want to make it through when they don't want to depend on something else. They are fighting and they are advancing and they are making their way through. The 88, the 38, the 25, that's your top 3. Boyd Abbott and Colin Kaiser, look at those 2. Look at the run those 2 are doing. Eve Austin to the inside, pushed by the number 25, past the 88. This is not something. What is Kate Taylor doing today? Oh my word, Kate Taylor makes his own move. Kate Taylor to the lead. Kate Taylor to the inside with only 10 laps to go here in Talladega. He is not taking prisoners in the worst reason possible to use that set of words, because he just took the 27 out, and now he took the 88 out the lead, and now he is in a fight for the win. Problems for David Cross. Problems for the 44. He was in his way towards the TriHard 500, and he will not see the finish of this race in the lead lap. We don't know what happened to that car. We just know he peeled off and he was done. Mac Henley using his provisional to his advantage, finding himself out there in second place. James Beverly pushing him. Eve Austin right behind him. Boyd Abbott, who made his way from the D-mains, is almost in the 500. This is an incredible story for the 99. A poor qualifying effort that he is negating. He is erasing. Thomas Tucker inside the top 20. He is advancing ever so slightly. And right behind him, you see there the 27. The 27 trying to gain positions, trying to gain ground, trying to make something happen. This is a fight for the championship. This is a fight for points. This is a fight for a chance at history. Becky Pellerin trying to win her second title in a row. Thomas Tucker trying to bring the 9 back to the top step of this championship. Eve Austin to the inside of Kate Taylor now for the lead with a little help from the 86 of James Beverly. Mac Henley joins the fray. Look, Pellerin to the inside as the 9 and the 27 have caught the lead back, and they are on them. Thomas Tucker is the last car on the line. Then you have Bobby Savage and Becky Pellerin right there, and Lucia Harper catching too. Look at Becky Pellerin right there behind the 79. The 9 is advancing, gaining position by position, making moves, and not taking no for an answer. He is making what he can with the time he's got, and it is not a lot of time. We are on lap number 42. By the time we get to lap 43, he is now inside the top 10, just making position by position. He's now ahead of Luke Pellerin because he shifted the line at the right second, and there he goes to the inside. Joey Anderson to the inside as well. Is the 9 gonna make a move? He goes together with Sarah Carlisle, so that's a Ford teamwork right there. James Beverly right there as well, pulling the 69. Becky Pellerin is trying to advance further, and we only have 5 laps remaining here in Dega. The 38 could be the 19th winner of the season, and another upset winner, another rookie winner, even though she's not officially a rookie, by the way. That's something I have to explain just a little bit more. But Becky Pellerin now, as you see, she advances past more and more people. Now she has the 80 on the outside. Lucy Barton pulls off before she gets to be lapped. She's done for the day. That is it for the 98 team. A melancholic end for Lucy Barton. While at the front of the field, James Beverly sets up his move under the number 9. Let's see what he can do right there, because the 69 is right there. The 27 is on the lead pack. 38 hanging on. This is a fight for the win. And I said Eve Austin is not a rookie officially. It's because she's not doing the minimum of 5 races to be considered a rookie. She's only doing 3 starts this season. And this is her 3rd start. Her 4th start's going to be Talladega if she qualifies. And the way things are, she might as well, because we're about to hit 2 laps to go. Kate Taylor's right there. Look at Becky Pellerin there. Look at Becky Pellerin there. She's going to be inside the top 10 when we cross the line. She's been gaining positions on the inside ever since the restart happened, and she's now inside the top 10. Kate Taylor to the inside to try to take the 3rd position. He takes the 3rd position for Peter Johnson, and Boyd Abbott's right there. Marcy Crawford's right there, having a fantastic run, the driver of the 46, and Kate Taylor to the inside once again. Kate Taylor is going to make a move on James Beverly, and let's see what they can do. There goes Taylor to the inside, pushed by the 99 of Boyd Abbott right there. He's going to have a shot and making a move on Eve Austin, but Austin continues to lead in that pink and yellow, one of the most distinctive cars in the field. And let's see what happens there. Kate Taylor to the inside. To the inside. They are not gonna let Eve Austin steal this win. Kate Taylor to the inside, pushed by Becky Pellerin. And Luke Pellerin right behind him. So the Luke Star cars are 1, 2, 3 on the low line, trying to get this one done by themselves on their own terms, and they are clear of the 38. They are clear of the 38. They are clear of the outside line. Thomas Tucker running right there inside the top 5. Colin Kaiser to the inside. Colin Kaiser trying to win his first career Challenge Series race, but Kate Taylor blocks the inside line. Kaiser is going to end up being in 3rd place behind Becky Pellerin. Thomas Tucker right there trying to find the space into a move. He forces the 30 to the outside. Not enough space right there. Kaiser hanging on for dear life. Thomas Tucker to the inside, and Tucker trying to figure out space as Kate Taylor hanging on. Becky Pellerin protecting the line. Tucker to the inside, trying to get 2nd place, but it is not going to be enough. Becky Pellerin is going to push Kate Taylor to the checkered flag for a Luke Star 1-2. Despite the drama on track, Kate Taylor was pushed to the checker flag by the champion. He mentored. She sacrificed points on the table to put him in victory lane, so Kate Taylor puts all 3 Luke Star Motorsports cars in the winners board for 2018. We now have 19 race winners this season. And Thomas Tucker follows them both with a very strong run that's certain to keep him in the fight for the title. Lucia Harper, Colin Kaiser, Bobby Savage, big result there for the veteran. Eve Austin, Boyd Abbott, Brenda Messner, Sarah Carlisle, and Ronnie Samples all work their way into the TriHard 500 field, while Mac Haley makes an excellent use of his provisional, finishing inside the top 10. As you see there, the rest of the pack, Jason Prescott earns a consolation race berth, while Lily Briscoe, after a brilliant Sebring showing, is unable to make lightning strike twice, and she does not break through. Former 500 winner Riley McKee misses the cut. He might have to depend on a ride swap. Lucy Barton bows out of the championship fight in the most unfortunate way possible and is not guaranteed a starting spot either, neither a ride swap. Athena Whitley, both Ernest Lewis Racing cars done for the weekend. The extra Ernest Lewis Racing car is done for the weekend. The extra Ashcroft Flaming Racing entries of Harriet Moore and Ben Makowski don't survive either. Ashley Richardson, Caitlin Tannerhill, and Matthew Stern fall to mechanical failures. I say both entries from Ernest Lewis Racing are done for the weekend, but it's mostly just the full-time cars. Megan McDonald and Lee Schmidt, neither makes it through. However, the 55 N of Marshall North is in the field, so we could anticipate a ride swap. We will have to wait. Now, let's head to the second duel of the weekend. Taking the helm of the field is the former TriHard 500 winner of 2016, Joey Torkson, who's running full-time in the PCC Truck Series this year. He takes pole, and alongside him you have Michael Humphreys, Emily Pauvin, David Tyner, 3 extra car entries inside the top 5 lined up together with Ruby Carson. I said on the results of B-Main number 1 that it was Marshall North. I confused Marshall North with Michael Humphreys. That's the problem of everyone showing up with the same number. There are 3 55 cars this weekend. You can see how hard my job's gonna be this time around. Now keep this in mind. David Tyner made it clear from the start of the weekend that this entry, the 201, only existed because he had a spare car. If he made the race, he'd likely sell the entry. However, Allison Smith fell by the wayside on D-Main number 1, so what we anticipate is that he will swap out with the Ohio race winner from this season, and Allison Smith's gonna give one last ride to the 200 on Sunday. Caitlin Richler posted a solid 12th place overall in qualifying, start 6th in this race. A surprise run from Mike Dixon on the Expansion Motorsports 969 in 7th. Quincy winner Scotty Overton rolling off 8th place. Ryan Faulkner lining up in 10th, needing to outscore Becky Pellerin, which is now a tough ask as she finished 2nd in duel number 1. However, last year, together with Lucy Barton, he was one of the duel winners. Do not count him out. Jamal Schmidt, the other 55 on the field, starts 11th. Rookie of the Year winner Tammy Barton in 12th, looking to qualify and get another one up on her older sister Lucy, while Charlie Faulkner and Corbin Dempsey, 2 more title contenders, qualified on time and will try to punch their tickets into the race without relying on the contenders provisional. On the final page of this grid, among the drivers that qualified through the lower races, you got there Vernon Hargrove, Steve Greenblatt also making it through, Robert Burton making it through as well with a provisional. And looking at the drivers in this list, you see there Joey Torkson, Vernon Hargrove, Steve Greenblatt, Corbin Dempsey, Jamal Schmidt, and Robert Burton. I think this might be the TriHard 500 qualifying race with the most former TriHard 500 winners. We got 6 overall, and all of these guys are very good on super speedways. None of them won a TriHard 500 by fluke. They all did work very well, so we're gonna see what happens, but this is bound to be a very special race. Let's go trackside. Leading the field to the green is Joey Torkson. Alongside it is Michael Humphreys. The green flag is in the air and the race is on here in Talladega. As you see, Emily Pauvin, a road ringer, bear in mind, having a very good start, already finds herself in 2nd place, Emily Pauvin. And now Ruby Carson in 3rd. 4th place right there is Carly Ellison. A very good run for HQS Racing, already trying to go for the lead is the 24 with a push from the 20. Ryan Faulkner also up there. Ryan Faulkner would preferably finish this race in 2nd or 3rd to ensure that he has a shot at retaining the championship lead, as Carly Ellison, the Floridian, already making a move on the inside. Charlie Faulkner also making his own moves. He also wants to gain as much points as he can on the 27. He had a very difficult second half of the season with mechanical failures, mistakes, penalties, anything you can imagine. And his season has been from rake step into rake step contact there. Ami Tachibana into the back of Kendra Brittany into the back of Demi Barton. They somehow all figure it out. This could have been so much worse. Let's ride together with the 53. See what happened there. The 53, a little tag, nothing consequential, but then the 26 lost complete control of the car, tagged the 97, and they had to figure everything out as they went. In the back of the pack, I have no idea how this didn't end in a big one. It is impressive how this didn't end in a large crash 3 laps into this race. As you ride there with Tammy Barton after saving the car, driving back. As you see, Tony Hart now finds himself in the 2nd position. He had a very good rookie season in his few appearances last year. This year, a little bit more hardship, but still a solid season nonetheless, just less impressive results. Vernon Hargrove pushing him into the 1st position. Kira Downer has lost the pack early on, 4 laps in, while Dirk Williamson is working his way forward. And look at his jump. Him and Stan Gustafsson 5th and 6th, working their way together onwards, trying to get into the front of the field. Vern Hargrove going for the lead. Here's the thing, if he wins, that's his 2nd career win, because remember, these are points races. They count towards your career. They are part of your story in the North American Auto Club. So him winning here would be a very good thing for his stat lines and for his season as well. Corbin Dempsey working his way back up together with Charlie Faulkner, as a lot of the things that happened so far are those general cycles where people make a couple of moves that are questionable, fall into the back, and the people that are moving forward cycle ahead. As you see, John Jefferson now up into the top 10, working his way also very slowly, very calmly, just picking one position by position at a time. Right behind him is Kitty Ashcroft. In the second pack back there, after that initial contact on lap 3, you got Demi Barton, Andy Piper. I believe that's Tegan Robertson right behind them. Robert Burton back there as well. And by the time we finish lap number 7, start lap number 8, there goes Scotty Overton on the inside with a push from John Jefferson. John Jefferson, is he going to try forcing a 3 wide? He will. He will. Forces a 3 wide with a push from Steve Greenblatt. Is it going to work? Joey Torkson's right there as well, the pole position. And they are all side by side, but Overton's going to hang on. And Greenblatt with a push from Torkson is going to put it on the inside of the 31 and the 95. And Greenblatt for the lead on the 3 wide, put the 62 in the sucker hole, and the 92 is in the lead of the race. But immediately, Joey Turkson trying to seek an opening there, trying to make a move. He moves to the inside, and Joey Turkson makes his move for the lead. He gets a push from the 62, and there goes the 24 catching up as well. Problems there. Problems for the 55 and on Michael for the 55H of Michael Humphreys. The outside pole of this duo is done for the afternoon. He's still guaranteed to start this race, but as a baseline, he's going to start at the back of the pack. And that is an unfortunate end for his race as he slows down. And I believe the caution is going to come out. Steve Greenblatt's going to make a move for the inside as they race back to the line. Is it going to be enough? And Greenblatt steals the lead of the pack at the line on lap number 11. And on lap number 12, everyone's gonna go into the pits just like in duo number 1. And we really don't expect to have any position changes because the same thing is gonna happen. We're not gonna need to change tires. We're just gonna have to go into fuel intake. And as soon as everyone leaves the pits, they're gonna remain in the same order. You see there, Greenblatt leads Torgerson, Overton, Ellison, and Hargrove of the pits. Then comes Ryan Faulkner, Emily Pauvin, Kitty Ashcroft, Tony Hart, and the 212 of Lexi Percy. And the green flag is out once again. And Torkson has a very good start. An impressive start by the number 0 car. He already drops down to the inside, chased down by the 92 and the 2089. The second car in line on the outside together with the 66. Further back in the field, you see there how the pack already split between Rachel Jackson and Andy Piper. Those two had a very terrible restart, and they're not being able to get up to speed. And the fact that they're side by side obviously doesn't help. Looking a little bit forward, though, you see there the 89 of Ryan Faulkner working his way forward with the 62 of Scott Overton forcing a 3 wide on the inside. You see there, I believe that's Lexi Percy and the 212. It is Lexi Percy and the 212, and eventually, by the time we get to lap number 19, she is gonna force her way through for the lead against the 0 of Joey Turkson. But Scott Overton's gonna force her to the middle, gonna put her in the sucker hole with the 66 of Kitty Ashcroft. And there we have another move for the lead. You see how the inside line has so much more population. But Joey Turkson's gonna get a little push, a little bump from Carly Ellison. That's gonna place him with just a little bit of kick of speed to stay in the lead. And problems. Lap 21, problems for the number 2 of Caitlin Richler. A terrible result for HQS Racing to have her lose the car right now. Likewise, because Riley McKee, the other full-timer, also has problems. However, at the front of the pack, you see there Lexi Percy, Emily Pauvin fighting up ahead. Corbin Dempsey, as the pack split with Richler's problem, finds himself in 12th place, working his way forward, trying to gain time, trying to gain positions, trying to finish as far ahead as he can for his championship. Likewise, Charlie Faulkner, they need to stay under striking distance to Rebecca Pellerin. Tammy Barton running right there, pushing the number 85. A couple of laps later, the number 2 of Caitlin Richler is back on track, and she's slowly gaining speed, but she's gonna eventually be caught by the field and lapped a second time. As you see Steve Greenblatt lead with Emily Povell right behind him, here comes Ryan Faulkner for second place. Is it gonna work? It is. He's gonna take second place. Stan Gustafson's gonna take third. Joey Thorson's gonna take fourth. They just freight train the 24, and look at Stan Gustafson pushing the 89 on the inside past the 92. This is a move for the lead of the race, and this is exactly what Ryan Faulkner needs to do today to stay in the championship lead for Sunday. He needs to score as many points as he possibly can as the field catches the number 2, and oh, problems for the 2-1-12. For the 2-12, Lexi Percy has a tire going down, I believe. And that is indeed the case. The 212 has a problem, a big vibration, and that slows the pack down, reforms the pack as Caitlin Richler moves to the inside. She's getting a little push there, a little tag from the 62 of Scott Overton. She's on the wall. Big contact. Caitlin Richler is sliding down. Watch it, watch it, watch it. Big hit. Another big hit, another big driver's side hit. This is a bad crash. Robert Burton into the 2 of Caitlin Richler. A big hit there. She got tagged on the right side by Scotty Overton as she's let down. Robert Burton picked the line, and I don't think he expected her to drop down. A big hit. This is a big hit. They both took a lot of time to get out of the car, obviously because of how the impact was. But you see there, 62 just tagged the right rear of the 2, kept going, and then you're gonna see it again. Lord, the front end of the 23 is just completely demolished. You ride with the 2 as she slides down. This was all normal. She's let down, was holding the brake, trying to slide as low as she could, and then she got hit on the underside of the car. A massive hit. As you watch the 23 of Robert Burton, he slows down. He's slowing down, braking, and oh my God, he caught it under. He caught the hood of the 23, got under the 2, and I think that's what projected the 2 so far ahead. Let's try to take a look again. I spoke about how they took their time leaving the car. They both climbed out, but you could clearly see Caitlin Richler clutching her shoulder. Oh my Lord, 4 wheels in the air on the 23. Large hit. They both left for the infield care center and then to the look at Vernon Hargrove missing this crash. Both went to the infield care center, and then we received word that they went to the hospital, so we are awaiting updates on that. But they were both awake, alert, moving, climbed out of the car under their own power, albeit both with some difficulty. You look at the contact there, just the 62 drifted down. I don't know how else this could have been explained, but I think the worst part is how she slides down. Everyone starts slowing to miss her, moving up and down. The 23 just happened to pick down, and I think if he doesn't hit her, the car that came right behind him, and I think that's the 8 car, would have hit her anyway, and I think that's 75. That would have been even worse, and it's just a shame that it's a mirror of the crash between Jennifer Frost and Jennifer Irving in the qualifiers. It's just a shame overall. But we're thankful that they climbed out. We're thankful that they left under their own power. And that would allow the race to get back on after a red flag period on lap number 32 of 47. And Joey Turks and Ryan Faulkner battling side by side. But at the end of the lap, you see how the outside line does not have the same strength. Corbin Dempsey up there in the fight, together with Charlie Faulkner, both working their ways forward, trying to make something happen, trying to gain as many points as they can in the championship. And Dempsey with the second place does ensure a very solid potential contendership. And look at that. His teammate, Ruby Carson, helping him. We tend to say Corbin Dempsey's a loner. He's a lone wolf. He tends to do things on his own strategies. Basically, he depends on the hallucinations of his own brain. But when it comes down to it, him and Ruby, when they work together, they work together. And you see they're further back in the field. David Tyner running 26th place. For lack of a better term, he's just feeling himself, just being old guy with a car, doing his thing, Uncle's driving around, doing his thing. We had problems there with Andy Piper, and I believe that is the 969 of Mike Dixon. Both of them are without the front ends, and we believe they got together under caution, but we have no confirmation. The cameras did not catch that. That's what we got from radio communications, and that means both of them are essentially done in terms of battle unless we get a big one. And that big one would have to eliminate a lot of cars to make them contenders again. It's just a shame that this is how the race goes for them, especially considering how well the 969 qualified. Problems for Steve Greenblatt. Coming to lap 38, 10 laps to go. Fuel pressure issue on the number 92 could be the hosing inside that car. The fuel lines could be busted. As 1 lap later, the leaders now catch the 13 and the 969. They kept it side by side just to, you know, have a little thing, have their little fun, waste a little bit of everyone's time. It's Talladega. This is a big party, isn't it? It's not like there are points riding on the line. Joey Torkson drops to the inside. Tammy Martin ends up getting stuck on the outside. You see there, Lexi Percy. Look at the 212 there. The blue numbers are Lexi Percy. Red numbers are Emily Povan. Lexi Percy right there. She's a lap down. She's bothering everyone right there. Being a Toyota, just vibing around, hovering around that crew. As you see this pack of 4 cars, these are the cars battling for the last 2 transfer spots. Dirk Williamson and Vern Hargrove right now are qualifying. Alexis Wyman and Tony Hart are not. There goes Carly Ellison for the lead, and here comes the cavalry with the 212 catching the 20, trying to assist her and the other Toyotas. Kevin Daly running there in the 83, caught by the pack, and he drops down to the inside, slows everyone just a little bit. Just a little smidge. He's gonna move to the middle of the track inside the sucker hole, and that is exactly what Charlie Faulkner wanted because he gets a big jump on the outside. He's gonna try dropping to the inside, but he's not gonna have enough space. He was ready to steal the lead, not gonna be able to. Carly Ellison's gonna retain the first position. That could have been a very cool move if Charlie Faulkner was able to pull it off, but his luck in this late season has just not helped him at all. Alexis Wyman with problems late in the run. Issues for the 78. She is not gonna fight for the transfer spot. That means the final 3 spots are gonna be between Hargrove, Hart, and Dirk Williamson, while you see there Ollie Nolan being lapped by the field. He stays on the outside. He's the most mindful lapped car we had this race. Let that sink in. This guy's a British touring car driver, and he's been more mindful than guys that have been driving these cars for their whole since their teenage years. Isn't that incredible? I love this sport sometimes. As you saw there, Tammy Barton cycled into the lead, but look at the 212. She's pulling the inside line, and the thing she can do is pull the inside line and help place a Toyota right there. Look at the 89. The 89 is trying to move down the line, and if he does that, it changes a lot of things. As you see there, the second pack in the field is trying to chase down the 96, 00, and 28, and they got themselves in a line, but I don't think they're gonna have enough time. We only have a couple of laps left. We are approaching 2 laps to go, and look at that. What did I tell you was gonna happen? What did I tell you was gonna happen? Lexi Percy to the inside, Ryan Faulkner with her, and Ryan Faulkner pulling Corbin Dempsey with her. So 2 title contenders trying to outscore everyone they can. Toyotas working together, and there goes the 89 for the lead. Toyotas back in the top with a lapped car helping their way through. Corbin Dempsey trying to make a move, forces the 89 to the outside, and he's gonna force his way through. 2 laps to go here in Talladega as they come to turn number 3, and Corbin Dempsey forced the 89 to the outside. Nothing that 212 could do, and Joey Torkson right there chasing them both down. Ami Tachibana, Stan Gustafson, 2 big road ringers running up there inside the top 10. Brett Philly up there as well in the battle, and white flag is in the air. Lexi Percy leading the lane, but Corbin Dempsey in the fight. Joey Torkson's gonna make a move on the inside. He's gonna try to force a 3 wide, and Torkson 3 wide for the lead, and he's gonna get a run for it with a push from the 53 Honda, and Joey Torkson is in the lead as they round out turns number 2, and here comes Torkson to the inside of the 212. Is he gonna be able to clear the 212 and protect himself? Because here comes Sten Gustafson forcing a 3 wide as well on the 81. Contact there between the 81 and the 53. They are side by side. The lines are almost merging. We almost had a big crash there on the enters of turn number 3, but rounding out turn number 4, Joey Turkson's gonna be clear, and he's gonna have the 2-on-2 in between him and the 95. The gap is too big to handle, and Joey Turkson gets the win in duel number 2. But that is not all, because the rest of the pack is still passing. The front pack is already guaranteed, and in the battle for the final 2 transfer spots, Vern Hargrove and Dirk Williamson punch their tickets into the 500. Joey Turkson takes the win here in Talladega, becoming the 20th different winner in 2018. And that is, of course, a record-setting number, marking the 3rd straight year the Turkson Racing Zero car has won a Challenge Series Super Speedway race. 2016, he won the 500. 2017, he won at New York. 2018, he wins duel number 2. Sten Gustafsson earns an impressive runner-up finish on a track where he was injured just a year ago, and this means that, barring ride swaps, he starts 4th place on Sunday. The Super Sweet is back and back with a vengeance. Ami Tachibana brings a surprise 3rd place as well, but of course, we do think, I cannot say for sure, she might be swapped out in favor of Hibiki Murata for the points battle. But of course, all of this, it's up in the air. Ruby Carson and Charlie Faulkner close out the top 5, while Corbin Dempsey is in 6th. So both Men and Ryan Faulkner, who is in 10th, are able to make points, but they make less points than Becky Pellerin. And the implications that I give you will be clear in just a couple of minutes. Brad Carlisle, Carly Ellison, Kendra Brittany, Jamal Schmidt. This one's important for the Owners' Championship. Brett Finley, Chris Endicott. This one's even more important for the Owners' Championship. All punched their tickets in. Vernon Hargrove and Dirk Williamson executed a manufacturer play of the ages, locking out the 96 and ensuring 2 more Pontiacs in the field and the entirety of Zach Tech in the 500. That is an impressive run. On the DNQ side, unfortunately, we have to see Rachel Jackson and Kristen Young, 2 longtime veterans of this sport, fail to qualify. Tegan Robertson and Kira Downer, 2 younger drivers in this sport, also failed to qualify, but they do get consolation race berths. While 2 impressive misses, which are effects of this whole race, are John Jefferson and Steve Greenblatt both not making to the 500. We're gonna see what happens in terms of ride swapping for the 31, considering that Bobby Savage is in the 500, and Triumph Motorsports and Johnson Racing are gonna be the same thing starting next year, but we don't think Steve Greenblatt's gonna run anything on Sunday. We'll see what happens in terms of consolation race. Of course, meaning that there are promotional options in that race. So like, if the people up in the office here in Talladega say, "No, I want to put you on the race," he's on the race. That's word of the boss. But with the qualifying process for the TriHard 500 finally concluded, let's take a look at the championship. Lucy Barton was eliminated from contention following duel number 1. That means we are down to a 6-car fight for the championship. And staring down the barrel of this revolver fight for the title are Rebecca Pellerin, with her 2nd place finish, reclaiming the championship lead by 28 points over Ryan Faulkner, 38 points over her own brother, and 42 over 2015 Series champion Corbin Dempsey. Dempsey is now in 4th place. That is an impressive climb for the driver of the 81. A guy that was not near the fight at all the whole season has a tangible shot at the title, just like Charlie Faulkner, who suffered a massive collapse in the second half of this year, and Thomas Tucker, who has been the busy bee the whole season, didn't win as many as others, didn't finish as well as the others, didn't score as many poles as the others, but he has been consistently strong the whole season and worked his way forward. Faulkner and Tucker are more than 50 points back, so they depend on a lot of luck smiling at them, But not, here's the thing. They can still win this one on track, even without luck. It just depends on what the cards Talladega deal you. We're gonna have to follow this battle lap by lap. At the same time, we have to look at the broader top 20, and several drivers inside that club have failed to qualify, which, considering also, again, the ride swaps and everything that happens in between, we could have a few shifts in the championship. Lucy Barton is going to finish this season 7th place regardless. If Riley McKee starts the TriHard 500, he can only make up the 33 points behind Barton. He tops out at 8. That's the best result he can get this season. McHenley could climb up to 9th if Lee Schmidt isn't swapped in. Likewise, Tammy Barton could reach 10th place since she's starting this race, just like Henley is. So that's something to put into consideration. Some teams might have ride swaps just to preserve their positions in the championship. Ashley Richardson, similar scenarios, tends to fall behind Boyd Abbott and Kendra Brittany, is mathematically within striking distance of the top 15, but in her case, and the case for Boyd Abbott, means that a lot of things have to line up perfectly for those changes to actually occur. Here's the thing. There's one situation where nothing changes and we have a lot of change, and that is the Owners' Championship, because Ethan Collins failed to qualify. We do not know if he will be swapped in. If he is swapped in, then we have a fight. If he isn't, we still have a fight, because look at the standings right there. When the green flag drops, Chris Endicott is insured a minimum of 21 points. That will put him in 32nd place. However, Jamal Schmidt could pass him in points, and then we have another part-timer with a provisional for 2018. So you gotta pay attention, you gotta keep your eye on the prize, because this battle is not over, even if Collins doesn't start the 500. So we're gonna have to pay attention to two fights: the Drivers' Championship fight and the top 32 fight. But you wanna know one battle that we won't need to pay attention because it's been sufficiently over? Rookie of the Year. Tammy Barton completely dominated the season. It made it so much not fun to watch the average finishes this year, even though we had a lot of rookies succeeding and now joining the Wall of Champions. Barton isn't one of them. However, there's one more chance to change that, but she isn't the one doing it alone, because on Sunday, 40 drivers, 6 title contenders, are separated from glory by 500 kilometers, 312 miles, 117 laps. This is the day where the light will flirt with disaster, history with what-ifs, footnotes from names, and immortality with obscurity. It will all come down to this: the 26th annual TriHard 500. The final race of the 2018 North American Auto Club Challenge Series season. I'll see you for the next time and the final time on the Primetime Network at Talladega.